You need to create your own philosophy. This is going to be a very crucial video for developing deep, lasting clarity for the rest of your life. I'm going to be giving you the principles. These are timeless principles for truly getting a deep grasp of the things that you want, how the world works, how every domain of life works, how career works, business, relationships, well-being, health, how literally everything works. This video is honestly kind of ridiculous, and I'm not claiming to have the answers to everything, but what I am claiming is that I have timeless principles that are going to deeply assist you in discovering those things for yourself. And I want to also say that there is no one true answer for all of these domains of life. There are various methods, there's various dating philosophies, there's various career-related philosophies, business models. There's various models and systems that work. And this video is all about finding the stuff that actually works best for you and also being open to the things that don't work best for you but actually work the best for someone else. Now, you need to create your own philosophy. And if you don't, you're going to be stuck with the garbage ideas that were passed down to you through parents, teachers, friends, basically your upbringing. And the thing about those ideas is that they had nothing to do with what's true, with what's authentic to you, with what you want out of life, with your personal interests, with your well-being, with your mental health, with basically anything. It had nothing to do with you. All of those beliefs, you adopted them because you needed to survive in that environment. And simply adopting the beliefs of the people around you is what helped you to get along with them and create a sense of belonging in that environment so that you can survive. And as we grow up, our mind becomes more and more identified with these beliefs, and we begin to create an actual sense of self out of these belief systems. Now, the reason why this matters so much is because if you care about personal development and self-actualization, reaching your full potential, every belief system is going to limit you. This has to do with every single belief system. This has to do with atheism, Christianity, scientific beliefs, political beliefs. Every single one you will hit a roadblock with, because no belief system has the whole picture of reality. Each belief system is just one point of view to look at reality with. And really, if you don't recognize that, you will stay stuck in a very narrow and limited and very fixed point of view on what reality is. And what I mean by what reality is what it is in its totality, like what actually is the world and where to come from, all the way to how does business work, to how do careers work, to how do relationships work, to how does well-being work. If you stay stuck within any particular one ideology, it will act as a limiter on your potential. And I can give you one example, a very harmless example, the vegan diet philosophy, the vegan diet ideology. Now, there's a lot of very ideological vegans who will fight to the death over their beliefs on what people should eat. And this is very interesting because it really lacks nuance. There's a lot of people who simply can't eat a vegan diet. They might have certain problems, or the food doesn't sustain them for a long enough period of time. So it's very complicated. I want you to get that this whole conversation that we're going to be having is full of nuance and complexity, and we need to be very open to various possibilities. We cannot get stuck in any one point of view. We need to have a flexible mind that can change and be dynamic and see assumptions and question them. Now, I'm going to get into exactly what I actually mean when I say create your own philosophy. What this means is be open-minded. Your mind needs to be flexible and open so you can continuously challenge, change, and see the value in various belief systems. You need to be able to change your mind as new information, experiences, and systems are brought into your awareness. You need to be able to let go of your beliefs so that you can see the value in contradictory philosophies and beliefs. Now I want to talk about that just a little bit. This has everything to do with exposing yourself to the unknown or to things that you disagree with so that you can begin to get why people think that way and why people do the things that they do. This will broaden your whole perspective on really everything in life if you dedicate yourself to this. And really, this is going to be extremely clarifying for yourself, in your relationships, and in your whole view of the world. And this is going to really help you to understand what the hell is going on. Because that's the whole point of philosophy, really. It's what the hell is going on. That's the question that we're asking. And it's incredibly important to actually recognize that there is a lot more going on than you presently understand. And I'm going to just paint a quick picture for you. This hand right here, we think we know what this hand is. But in 500 years, we're going to have so much new information on how human biology works that our whole view of what a hand is from a scientific lens, from a scientific point of view, that is going to completely change. That's going to be a very different view of what a hand is from the modern one. So there is a whole bunch of stuff that is completely outside your awareness, that you're completely ignorant of, and your present belief systems are actually limiting your ability to move in these directions that are geared towards growth. And I want to say that every belief system has roadblocks. I want to point that out once again. You cannot stay within one set of beliefs. You need to be open enough to actually challenge them, and this is a very active process. This is not something that we do idly, sitting on an armchair on the couch, just like daydreaming. This has a lot to do with actually engaging with people and asking them questions about what they think and what they want and why and what experiences they've had that have led them to this, by actively looking into contradictory philosophies and belief systems that they contradict yours, basically. So if you're an atheist, you pick up various forms of spirituality. You pick up Zen Buddhism, to Christianity, to Hinduism, to whatever, other forms of spirituality, to New Age, meditation, things like that. All the way to, if you are a liberal, you pick up something to do with a conservative ideology and vice versa. And basically every possible view that you have, you seek to understand its opposite side, or just the various perspectives that exist within that domain of life. And this is not an easy task, because a belief system is actually seeking to maintain itself, and I'm going to explain that. When a belief system enters our mind, we begin to identify with that belief system. That's why people say, I am an atheist, or I am a Christian, or I am a liberal. It's because that is their identity. That's the belief system that has programmed their mind and has constructed an actual sense of self. And when that belief system gets threatened, we have an actual physiological response to it that sends us into a kind of fight or flight mode. We get reactive, we get defensive, things like this. And our self-preserving instincts come out. And that belief system is actually able to preserve itself through our self-preserving instincts. Now, it's not that beliefs are bad or that belief systems are bad. There's nothing wrong with any particular belief system. It's just that we get very stuck in them and very identified with them and very rigid about how we hold them and what we really think about them. So our belief systems are more than just like mental phenomena, but they actually create the very sense of who we actually believe we are. And when that is threatened, we have an actual biological response to that situation so that we can preserve that self that we have created, that liberal self, that conservative self, that Christian self. And through this mechanism, our beliefs or belief systems are actually maintaining themselves. They're actually able to survive. It's almost like they are their own like entity. They're like their own organism that is kind of feeding off of you. Really, they are entering your mind and they're actually using your instincts in order to survive. And like I said, there's nothing wrong or bad. There's nothing wrong or bad with any belief system, but it's very problematic to really our mental health and our overall well-being and clarity when we are stuck within a point of view. And it's very important to actually realize that our points of view are so limited that it's just laughable to stay stuck in them. Because there's so much complexity to the world, there's so many variables, there's so many unique points of view, there's so much information to the world that lies outside of our perception, our mind, our overall awareness, what we can perceive, that to actually stay stuck and rigid within any particular point of view is ridiculous. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's ridiculous to just stay stuck within atheism, or stay stuck within Christianity, or stay stuck within being a liberal, stay stuck within being a conservative. This is very psychologically immature. And as we evolve and as we actually grow ourselves, we actually become significantly more open-minded and also more tolerant of various beliefs. So we can actually explore them and incorporate them into our worldview while also not judging them or condemning them or thinking that they're bad and evil and should be thrown away or like burned or whatever. So this video is very helpful for getting you to understand that there are so many ways to actually live life that you don't even know. Like you don't even have, like neither do I, but you don't even have any clue whatsoever how many ways there are to make an online business, for example, or how many ways there are to have a successful relationship, or how many ways there are to have a healthy diet, or how many ways there are to run a country that can be successful, how many ways there are to run an economy that can be successful, but we're just so close-minded and ideological that we cannot find those high-quality systems and solutions to our problems. And really, a massive point of this video is to help you open up your mind to new ideas and actually actively explore them. This is a very active process. And by active, I mean you actually have to do something about this. It's not enough to like watch a video and be like, oh, I understand the language that he's speaking. I understand the words that are coming out of his mouth. I want you to buy this book and read it. I don't literally mean buy this book, although this is a fantastic book. I want you to actually pick up and explore information about philosophies and belief systems that contradict yours. And I want you to open up your mind to the possibility that people are living their lives not just because they're stupid or something like that, but because they actually have very valid reasons and past experiences that validate a lot of their beliefs. So people do not just pick belief systems because they're stupid. People pick them because it helps them to survive, and it is basically, it helps them to gain some kind of clarity, or at least it seems that way. And I got to point out that it seems that way. Each belief system is very restrictive, and to really gain clarity, you have to break out of belief systems. But people create belief systems in order to have an actual sense of security and stability in their lives. And that goes with you. You have a belief system. As long as you have a mind, you have a belief system. You have beliefs about whether the earth is round or flat. You have beliefs about what the weather is outside. If you're not looking outside right now, you have a belief about what that is. You have a belief about what this person thinks of you and of what that person thinks about you and how you're going to do this or that or whatever. So our mind constantly creates beliefs. It fills in gaps. It fills in the unknown in order to save us mental energy. So it helps us to survive. And this video really is very important for really having success in any area of life, because success in life comes from having a profound and deep understanding of your own psychology. You need to actually investigate yourself. You actually have to study yourself. If you want to feel the best, if you want to have the best relationships, if you want to feel the most motivated and productive so you can have the best career, if you want to have the most creative content, if you want to give the best, music to the music industry or whatever, a lot of that comes from actually having a deep sense of self-understanding and authenticity, which is absolutely crucial for real success in life, which doesn't just mean like material results, like getting the hot girls or the resourceful men or getting the money and the status or whatever. This has a lot to do with achieving the things that actually matter to you and are authentic to you. Because success is a very relative term. Usually when we think of success, we just think of making money and getting a lot of status, getting a lot of approval from people. That's usually what it means, having a bunch of followers and having a lot of money. But the thing is success means different things to different people, and you have to actually define what success means to yourself. This is a part of creating your own philosophy. This is a part of gaining self-understanding. This is a part of creating deep and lasting clarity. Maybe success to you means making $3,000 a month and traveling to various countries across the world. And maybe success to this guy means creating a fantastic online business that adds value to a lot of people. And maybe success to that person means donating all my money away to the poor because that makes him feel the best. Who knows? But I want you to get that a lot of the things that we think are just fixed and rigid are very flexible and dynamic. And that basically brings us into the next point, which is what I don't mean when I say create your own philosophy. And that has to do with rigidly clinging to your philosophy and ideas as the one true philosophy, reject incoming information and experiences that show you blind spots in your worldview, and be so insecure about challenging your beliefs that you fail to see any possible value in contradictory philosophies and beliefs. So if you are actually open in situations where you would close, like someone has a belief that contradicts yours, and there's usually a sense of struggle, there's like a lack of connection to that person that occurs. If you open yourself up and you just ask them why they think that, if they have any experiences that validate that, basically how they came to this conclusion, you're actually open. If you try and seek to understand why they're thinking the way they are, you might actually get some value out of it. Because all of the world's belief systems, whether it's Christianity, atheism, liberalism, the conservative ideology, whatever it is, these exist not just because, they're stupid or something like that. Like the philosophies that you disagree with, they don't exist because they're stupid and people are stupid. Millions of people follow those because there actually is some kind of value in those worldviews. There actually is some kernel of truth. There is some nugget of gold within that worldview. Although not everything might be gold within that worldview, there is some truth within that worldview. And various people actually can sense that. People can detect that, and they flock to it, really. They begin to really buy into it. Although every belief system, like I said, is a restrictive force and will actually limit your potential, but every belief system also actually has a little bit of truth to it. So, like I said, you want to be open enough to explore various beliefs and extract the nuggets of wisdom from them and leave away all the garbage, really. So what to do? You want to learn various perspectives. This one is incredibly important. You want to study, actively study various perspectives. Learn different forms of marketing, learn psychology, learn evolutionary psychology, learn child psychology, learn biology, learn Christianity, learn Zen Buddhism, learn yoga, learn meditation, learn spirituality, learn whatever it is. You can see how I'm just listing out points of view. Learn systems thinking. And you can see that all of these, if you are sincere about it, you can see that all of these beliefs actually have some nuggets of wisdom, gold, and truth in them. They're not just ridiculous or stupid. Read books on liberal ideology. Read books on communism. Actually study them and get the fact that it isn't just this 100% wrong worldview just because you disagree with it. You actually have to open up your mind, like actively open it up to something that is different from you and what you think, and understand that the reason why people believe this and they're so firm in their beliefs about this is because there actually is something there. It's because it's not just completely incorrect. There's actually some truth there. Although there can be a lot of things that are blatantly false, there is wisdom there and there actually is truth. The next one in creating your own philosophy is actually identifying your values. So this has a lot to do with getting clear about the things that actually matter to you. And really, this is very important for not only creating your own philosophy, but for actually living the life that is authentic to you. And really, in order to do that, you have to create your own philosophy. There's no other way around it. Regardless of who you are partaking in this sense-making game of the world. Every human is making sense of the world, and this is philosophy. Philosophy is sense-making. And in order to actually live the life that is most authentic to you, you need to be very clear about that to yourself. You need to actually be able to make good sense of what that is, which is not a simple thing. There's various blocks to that, like beliefs that you have and you cling to and identify with. And not only that, but fears, insecurities, lack of self-awareness, emotional unintelligence, things like this. These all contribute to living an inauthentic life that isn't aligned with what is the most meaningful thing to you. Moving on, you can examine your beliefs. This is very important. This has a lot to do with actually challenging your beliefs. So when I say challenge your beliefs, and a good way to do that is, what are you? Like, who do you vote for? Or really, who are you? Describe yourself. Are you an atheist, a Christian, liberal, this, that? And I want you to notice how you have formed an identity out of that belief system that you presently have. And I want you to really open your mind to the possibility that maybe not everything in that belief system is true. And that maybe in the belief system that is opposing mine, there is also some truth. This is incredibly valuable for breaking out of ideological traps. And ideology is one of the biggest traps in the modern world because it's floating around everywhere and it's affecting everyone's mind, really. So actually examining your beliefs in a very active way, learning how to identify them, is very important. So you can learn how to identify your beliefs by doing various practices that increase self-awareness, like meditation, journaling, going for long walks, even doing things that increase your overall well-being, like eating a nutritious diet, exercising, things like this. Anything that gives you clarity is very important when it comes to creating your own philosophy and really living a healthy life, living what, to my definition, is the good life. So examining your beliefs is not an easy thing. We love our beliefs. We cling to them and we identify with them, and they seem so real and true to us. They really seem like they're not beliefs. They seem like they just are what reality is. And that's why they are so sticky. That's why they're so difficult to, first of all, see, and second of all, question. Because our beliefs act as underlying assumptions that overlay our perception. And they really create a sense of solidity to the world that we live in. They create a real sense of this is what it is, a sense of, firmness to our sense of reality. Another important one is actually reflecting on your experiences. So reflecting on the experiences that have shaped your life, actually reflecting on the things you've learned and how they've actually influenced you. And it's also really, really important to get that other people have a lot of experiences that might contradict the exact things that you believe. And it's very important to understand why that is and see that there is a lot of validity to that opposing force. The next one has a lot to do with defining your purpose. So determining what you actually want to achieve in life and really figuring that out, spending a lot of time writing about it, reading about it, contemplating it, and just gathering information about this topic is very important. It has a lot to do with what you want your impact on the world to be, what is authentic to you, basically the whole direction of your life. How can you align your values and beliefs with your goals and aspirations? How can you align what is authentic to you? Or basically, how can you align your authentic values with really your goals and aspirations? Another one is refine and revise. So this has a lot to do with being flexible and dynamic. So your philosophy should not be set in stone. Your philosophy should not just be like atheism or like science or Christianity or liberal or conservative. Like, you see how this is just like, it's very narrow. It's just a very narrow point of view. It's a very narrow way of actually looking at the world. It's very restrictive on your mind to just be stuck in that point of view. So you actually want to continuously reflect, I'm going to restate that, continuously reflect on the beliefs that you actually have and revise them as necessary so that they actually align with what's currently happening and life experiences, our actual direct experience. So it's very important to be flexible. That is one of the biggest takeaways from everything I've just said right now. Actively opening up your mind and actively seeking out new information that contradicts and threatens your belief system. So actively looking at information that is not aligned with your present beliefs so that you can break out of your beliefs. You actually want to break your mind out of these sort of jail cells that you've put it in through beliefs. Now, every single belief system is helping you to create a sense of self and security. We create an identity around our beliefs, and this is very fundamental to our sense of safety and who we are. So when you go about questioning it, it might be very unsettling, especially if you make a lot of money off of your beliefs. If you basically in any way, shape, or form make money through your beliefs, it's going to be especially hard to question them, especially if you make a lot of money. If your belief system helps you to survive in very grand ways, it gets you, let's say, a lot of sex, a lot of fame, a lot of money, it is going to seem even more real to you because it's helping you to survive. It's helping you to thrive. And a lot of those beliefs might not be true. A lot of them can have a lot of falsehood in it, but because it is serving your survival, it's even more difficult to question them because it's doing so much for you. It's making life so easy for you. And to begin to question them and really actively remove a lot of them, what does this mean for your life? How are you going to make money now? How are you going to get the relationships that you want? How are you going to spend your time? What are you going to do with your life now? A lot of things have to rearrange. When your values and your beliefs and circumstances, when this changes, everything begins to rearrange, which can be very destabilizing. So moral of the story is, if your belief system is helping you to survive, it's even harder to question. So most priests, for example, who make money doing, for their job, most priests, it's not going to be easy for them to question Christianity because this is their life. This is who they are. This is their identity. This is how they live. Most politicians can't really question their beliefs too well because this is who they are. This is how they live. Most people who work for a specific branch of government can't question their beliefs too well because this is who they are. This is how they survive. Most people who get a lot of success with a particular dating philosophy can't question their beliefs too well because this is who they feel as though they are and how they actually get success in that area of life. Same thing goes with diet. A lot of, let's say, vegans, for example, who love their vegan diet, get a lot of success and, let's say, even well-being out of their diet. And it's going to be very hard to question that because it works so well for them, because a lot of the information around them and experience around them is continuously reinforcing that set of beliefs. And to think that there is something else that might be better is difficult, or there's something else that can be healthier for, or whatever, or that diet might not work for that person. This is kind of difficult because it requires nuance, it requires open-mindedness, it requires caring about the point of view of another and being able to actually take it on. It actually requires us to be more selfless. It requires us to get out of our narrow, selfish points of view that are helping us to survive and helping us to create a sense of safety. And it has a lot to do with opening ourselves up to really the vastness of the world that we live in. So moving on, I have a lot of the pros that go along with creating your own philosophy. And the biggest one is clarity. Now, clarity is actually something that you have to create. Clarity does not come willy-nilly. Clarity is something that you need to actually learn how to create in your life. And developing a philosophy can really help you with that. And not only really help you, it will help you with that. It'll help you to clarify a lot of your values, your beliefs, why they're even there in the first place, what they're doing for you. And really, it'll help you to make better decisions. It'll help you to identify your most authentic goals. It'll help you to identify what means the most to you. It'll help you to navigate life's challenges with more confidence and energy as well. And it'll actually help you to prioritize your time as well. So when you create your own high quality philosophy, you can actually filter out a lot of potential information that might be time wasting or just downright distracting. And you can very easily detect what kinds of stuff are going to be traps and very distracting and what kind of stuff is actually just very toxic. Now, not all belief systems are the same. Some belief systems are more psychologically evolved than other belief systems. And the lower a belief system is in psychological evolution, the odds are it's going to be more closed-minded, more fixed, even more violent, and overall just more toxic and unhealthy. And really, not just that, it's not that lower is bad, but it's just that when we run into ideologies and philosophies that claim that they are the one truth, they are the only true one, this is a huge red flag. And it's not that, belief systems do not come out and say that. Very rarely do they do that. A lot of religions will say that, the one true savior is this guy or whatever. But within each philosophy, that is implied. Within the vast majority of ideologies, that is implied that this is the truth. This is the best truth or the highest truth. And if people didn't think that, they wouldn't believe so firmly in their favorite political ideology or their favorite dating ideology or their favorite whatever ideology, their favorite diet ideology. So it is implied within various ideologies that this ideology is the best, that Christianity is the best, or that this is the best. Until the people within that ideology raise their level of psychological development, and they become more open to the vastness of the world around them, the actual experiences of other people, the beliefs of other people, and they're able to get that there is validity in the opposing belief system. So the next one is purpose, and basically your philosophy can actually give you a deep sense of meaning in life, which is very important for being psychologically well. It'll give you a very deep sense of direction, and it'll actually help you to define what an authentic purpose is. And it's not easy to actually get what is authentic to you. It's not a given. Actually, our authentic self, or our most authentic drives, intentions, desires, goals, are covered up very deeply by insecurities, by other people's expectations of us, by various forms of fear, worry, lack of motivation, lack of clarity. A lot of what is most authentic to us is simply covered up because we don't spend time continuously uncovering what that actually is. The next one is autonomy, and this helps you to basically take control over your life. This actually helps you to actively shape up your life. Like, a lot of people are not shaping up their life. A lot of people are simply adopting the beliefs and overall the whole path that is laid out in front of them. And this is very obvious to see, and I'm in no way like insulting anyone. It's not a judgmental thing. It's just a very direct observation of how a lot of, what most people are doing. It's not that that is bad or that's wrong. That might work the best for a lot of people, and that might just be what it is, or maybe it isn't. But it's really important to really personalize your life, which has a lot to do with being autonomous. It's really important that you actually sit down and discover what works the best for you. And most people do not do that. Most people do not spend hundreds of hours. This will take hundreds of hours. This is not a quick fix to any problem. This is your life. This is going to go on for the rest of your life. Most people do not actively participate in any of this work I'm talking about. They simply have quick fix solutions, or they get distracted, or they lose motivation. They see no point in doing anything I'm talking about. That's just how the vast majority of people currently are. People do not take interest in questioning their beliefs or being open-minded to contradictory philosophies. People do not actively read hundreds of books and really study various ways to improve mental health, various ways to improve your diet, various ways to see religion, various ways to see science. People are very narrow-minded. Even a lot of jobs, for example, are very narrow. They're very technical. So, for example, if I'm a scientist, I'm not just a scientist, I'm a molecular biologist, or I'm an astrophysicist. And you can see that there's a very sort of narrow path that things go down, and that most people go down. And this video is telling you to, it doesn't mean you don't have to go down some specific career path. If that's what you like, obviously, you have to figure that out. But the whole point is to be more flexible, be more open. Actually take the valid information from various narrow paths and incorporate them into your own. So I, for example, love spirituality, self-actualization, and psychology. And those are really my main top 3 favorite things. And I take from all of them and I bridge a bunch of stuff together. And not just from that, I grab stuff from other forms of science to even dating philosophies to really like various points of view, just a lot of different points of view, like biology, psychology, developmental psychology, child psychology, evolutionary psychology, or physics to chemistry to Zen Buddhism to Christianity, Hinduism. I basically take the best out of a bunch of these paths, a bunch of these general fields, and I incorporate them into myself. I take what resonates and what is most authentic to me, and what I can actually personally experience to be true, and I remove or just leave behind a lot of the other stuff. So this has nothing to do with blindly believing in anything that you read and or hear. This has everything to do with actively seeking truth, clarity, well-being, health, self-actualization, and purpose as well, and really authenticity and honesty. So it's very important to actually define your life for yourself, which, I'm sorry to say it, odds are you don't. Because this is not an easy thing. It's not like you just sit around and like you need to put work into this. Like you have to set aside like an hour every day to doing this, a minimum of like 1 hour. You actually have to put time and effort into what I'm saying. And if you aren't, then I mean, you're not doing the work that I'm talking about. The next one is authenticity. So this has a lot to do with living a fulfilling life that is actually meaningful to you, which I've been talking about a lot in this video, and I've talked about how authenticity is not a simple thing. We're not just all so authentic, we are actually very inauthentic because we get scared, we close down, our beliefs close our minds, and really authenticity has a lot to do with truth and personal honesty. Authenticity is how you truly are, the key word there being truly. Personal honesty and authenticity actually go hand in hand, and really this is like a skill that has to be developed. Personal honesty and developing clarity, these are skills, these are intrapersonal skills that need to be developed. The next one is personal growth, and this has a lot to do with taking on challenges, self-reflection, critical thinking, and basically a willingness to reflect on your own beliefs, gain new insights, and see different things about the world around you. The next one is confidence, which helps you build stronger relationships, whether in your personal life or professional life, and can help you to really articulate yourself well and speak more clearly about the beliefs and values that you have. And just to restate, there's nothing wrong with any belief system. This isn't about like removing, like throwing away one set of beliefs for another belief. This is about open-mindedness and flexibility and all the other values that I just listed, like self-actualization, personal honesty, authenticity, things like that. This is all about getting clear. This is all about maximizing clarity. The next one is empowerment. So this process of creating your own philosophy can actually help you to take significantly more effective action in your life because you are clearer about how life works through studying how different people see the world and taking what resonates in the best of the best from various philosophies and incorporating them into yourself, really. This has a lot to do with really living in alignment with what is authentic to you. I keep repeating myself with that, but it has a lot to do also with actually taking ownership of your beliefs. So you actually need to have a sense of personal responsibility over your day-to-day emotional state, your day-to-day beliefs, your day-to-day thoughts. Like actually take responsibility for these things. Like you are creating these things. It's not like these things are just happening to you. You are actually creating a lot of these things. Like, you know, I'm speaking to the average person here, but you know, if you're the average person, your beliefs, your emotional states, a lot of this stuff can be significantly improved and just downright changed, and it'll just really help you. So you actually need to really just have a sense of responsibility for what is occurring inside of you, for your own subjectivity, for your own thoughts, beliefs, values, intentions, motivations. Actually actively investigate them. So it's not like, you know, it's an interesting thing. It's taking responsibility for who you actually are, for the human that you are constructing right now. Because there are a lot of ways that you can change yourself, and there's a lot of ways that really you can live life, and you are choosing a very specific way to live whether you know it or not, whether it's a conscious or unconscious decision, you are choosing to do certain things, behave in certain ways, think certain things, and feel certain things that are creating your actual experience of who you are. And really, it's important to take ownership and responsibility for that because, it's just going to help you to actually change. If you act like a victim or if you don't feel empowered, it's very difficult to make effective change. Moving on is adaptability. So this has a lot to do with how life is constantly changing. So you cannot get stuck within any particular set of beliefs. Like I said, everything around us is constantly changing, and we need to be flexible and dynamic and open to change, especially as brand new ideas are introduced to us. We actually need to test whether these ideas are valid or invalid through various experiments and methods, not just, science, So science is an interesting one, and I got a lot of ideas around that. The scientific method is one method. That is one method for deriving whether something is true or false about the world. What if there are various other methods? What if there's stuff that is true, but we can't prove it with the scientific method? So there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of brilliant questions to ask that really begin to reframe how you think about the world around us. So adaptability is very important because this is going to help you to make high quality decisions in the face of uncertainty. So there's a lot of unknown around the world, or in the world around us, I mean. We are very clueless actually as to what the world is around us. In 500 years, our whole view of the world is going to change, and everything around, it's really all going to change. It's already in a constant state of change. In 500 years after that, it will all change. In 500 years after that, it will all change. So we have to be adaptive and flexible with the constant changes that life is throwing our way. And our philosophy needs to be the same way. It needs to be constantly refined and revised. Moving on is happiness. This is a fairly simple one. So actually creating your own philosophy based off the principles that I've given you and all this stuff that I've been talking about will actually help you to feel a deeper sense of purpose, contentment, and joy in your life, especially when they are all authentic to you, especially when your philosophy is authentic to you. So this video is basically coming to a close. If you have any questions whatsoever, leave them in the comment section below. But other than that, take it easy.